Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be playing something a bit different. This is the original Colin McRae Rally on PlayStation, well it's actually PlayStation 2 but originally released on PlayStation 1. Let's check it out. So this is one of my favourite games of all time. I wasted so many hours playing this game when I first had PlayStation 1. A couple of things I really liked about it, apart from all the crashing, was this was one of the first games where you could use the analog joysticks on the DualShock 2 controller, or DualShock controller maybe, and it made a real difference to the game. You know, we've been so used to playing on kind of Nintendo and Sega systems where you only had the arrow keys to move about. To have the analog joysticks was amazing, especially for this kind of game. And the other thing about it I really liked was it was hard, but it was doable, and you basically, I mean, you are playing against yourself completely, and it's one of those games that you get better at, and you can keep testing yourself and you know, get first place all the way through. I don't know how many hours I spent restarting just to try and get that extra few seconds and get myself gold in each of the races. It's a long time since I've played this now, so I'm not that good at it, but it's still great fun. I am playing this on a PlayStation 2 Slim, which is running through my XRGB Mini. It's actually just upscaled to 720p 50, and it's in 4:3 because that would have been the original. Whoa! Oh, nice. That would have been the original scaling for the picture. It does have a widescreen mode option, but for some reason that doesn't work very well with my XRGB, and I'm not really quite sure why. I've switched scan lines off as well, so I can get a decent picture at 720p, but apart from that it's all standard stuff. Now I remember this game looking amazing when it first came out. Obviously it looks a bit dated now, unsurprisingly, but at the time it was amazing. Hang on, we've got all splash, so we must be near the end of this race. Whoa, straight to the trees. I didn't do very well there. Still, it's quite cool. I think as well it also had a test at the beginning so that you could get used to how the cars drove. And it always used to make me laugh because all of the names of the players are, you know, were at the time in WRC. Let's move on to the next level. And that's right, the other thing it did was it allowed you to save by giving you a password for every level that you completed. You had to write down a huge string of digits, and then you could just come back, plumb them in, and away you went. Now, I don't remember driving in any other car other than the Subaru, because obviously it was iconic at the time. Let's go. And I probably did later on get some of the other cars. I can't actually remember how you go about getting other cars off the top of my head. Anyway, nice bit of scenery there. Now square left. Oh, hang on the handbrakes. Let's go. And the other thing about this game is that it's very arcadey. It's obviously not a sim. It would have been at the time probably considered to be a little bit simulator-esque, I guess, but it was very much an arcadey feel to the cars. But it was the first car game that I ever had to use the brakes on. Obviously playing things like Mario Kart and stuff, you tend not to have to use the brakes too much, and this is obviously, you know, it's key to using the brakes on this game to get yourself around the track in time. And it made a real change from sticking your finger on the accelerate button. Whoa, where are we going? Sticking your finger on the accelerator button and just whizzing round and turning left and right. I also love the... Whoa, straight off the track there, sorry about that. I also love the flare effect when you're driving into the sun. It's a little bit difficult to see, and you get that all the time now in modern games. Let's see if I can pick up some time. I did the last stage quite well, better than anybody else. Whoa! Just kind of entertaining as I crashed. Where are we going? Back down to 8th. So yeah, this is one of my favourite games, and I remember I think it has dual screen multiplayer as well, so you could play 2 controllers plugged into the PlayStation and split screen on the TV. And I remember playing it with mates from work. It would have probably been, at the time, it was probably my second job, and a lot of people working there were just like me, kind of fresh out of university, had loads of time on their hands, and so we used to go around one of those houses, play PlayStation, and this would have been one of the games we played. I remember playing against a friend of mine who thought he was quite good at video games, but hadn't realised actually quite how many hours I'd sunk into this game and got slightly thrashed. He didn't mind too much, but yeah, it was one of those things. I got quite good at this game at one point because I did just spend so many hours playing it. Anyway, what I'd really like to do is show you some of the other surface types, because that was one of the cool things about this game, was that there were some simulator type elements to it, one of which is you could adjust the car before each race. I never really did too much of that, but I think you were able to adjust things like the braking and suspension and stuff. I don't know how much of a difference it made to the game, but it was a feature that was there. And then obviously, whoa, I didn't find the handbrake there. I've got a funny feeling I'm using the wrong buttons. And of course the surface types really made the driving different. So I think we might have some different surface types now. Let's have a look. So yeah, you can change all the car information there if you wanted to. And when this stage is loaded, you see it's 70% wet gravel and 30% wet mud. And it makes a real difference. So we start off in the mud here.
3, 2, 1, go. One right.
So we start off in the mud here, and it made the driving so much harder. You had to be so much more careful to get the to get the car, especially through the mud and the wet stages. And the gravel was the best fun to drive on because it let you kind of take the back end of the car out all the time around the corners, whereas the wet mud in particular didn't let you do that. And there we go. Whoa! See what I mean? Straight into the fence. That's not cool. Right, gonna need to take it a bit more easy. And they did. The game was quite good in the fact they did let you into this very gently. So when you first played the championship, you had to have a couple of gravel stages, which are relatively easy to drive in, and you could get the feel for the car. And then you'd have this stage, which kind of threw you into the mud to start with, but still gave you the option, because 70% of it's gravel, to kind of pick it up if you'd had a bit of a disaster on the muddy sections. Or in fact on the gravel sections, as I'm doing now. Let's keep going. Okay, bang. And I loved the calls from your co-driver. It's fantastic. And Colin McRae and Nicky Grist were quite instrumental in driving this game, I think, in terms of, excuse the pun, in terms of, you know, being involved in it a little bit. And obviously Nicky Grist did all the voice stuff for the co-pilot's directions. which are quite cool. And they will take a little bit getting used to, and each rally game does it differently. So you kind of have to get used to them. Well, that was quite good. Oh no, I'm in the ditch there. No, that's alright. So yeah, really good game. Excellent fun. It's still really good fun to drive. It's still an excellent kind of combination of arcade and sim-like bits. This is one of the few games I actually own for the PlayStation. I can't remember why I ended up buying it again. It was one of those things that I've got quite a lot of old consoles, but not too many games to play on them, honest. I haven't got the time, the money or the space to keep loads of games. And so what I tried to start doing was buying games for older consoles that I wanted to play. And when it came around to PlayStation, I thought, oh, I should get Colin McRae because it's fantastic. So yeah, this is one of the few games I own for PlayStation 1. Oh yes, made a bit of time there. Superb. Whoa, losing it. Got too cocky. Where are we going? Where is the track? Not that way. So yes, this is Colin McRae Rally, the original, played on PlayStation 2, originally released for PlayStation 1, using the analog joysticks. It's being displayed on my HD TV using my XRGB Mini at 720p 50 because it's PAL. And yes, I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to carry on playing. Please let me know if you enjoyed that, if you've got any fond memories of playing Colin McRae. And thanks very much for watching. I'll be back again soon. Cheers.